All right, welcome back, everyone. Here we are on week 2 of our March to Manager training. And I totally want to start out saying, way to go. Congratulations. Dawn already put a Facebook Live in there saying you guys did a great job interacting. Sponsors, I see you getting in the game as well. So keep going. This is it's very common for people to go strong at the beginning, and by the time we get to week 3 and 4, we have less interaction and engagement. So don't let that be you, because consistency is king. We're going to talk a lot about consistency today with your posting on social media, but also consistency is huge with your engagement and learning and getting and staying plugged in. You have to stay plugged in all the time. So great job, you guys. Thanks to everyone who helped each other out and really used a lot of teamwork to make those posts really powerful. So we are very happy to see that and see how many people jumped in. If for some reason you didn't get your post up last week, and you're still thinking about it, or just the week got away from you, still do it. It doesn't mean that you can't still get it up there. So reach out to your sponsor, get your post up, and then you can easily just pick up where we're at now. So what I'm going to talk about today is that it's not a one and done thing that you put one post up and people know what you're doing now. So we're going to talk more about consistency. And then Dawn is, after I'm done, she's also going to talk about what your post kind of should look like and how often and some tips on when you're posting. And then Allie has our secret sauce system I know a lot of people are like, what do I do next? And then what do I do? How does this whole long-term process go? And how do we use HHP as a great tool? And she is going to go step by step with that with you. So you definitely might be watching this one more than once. So what I want to talk to you about is posting. And just because you see some people posting certain ways doesn't mean it's the most effective. So these are the things that have worked and that we've learned from a lot of the training. And we really call it more of an attraction marketing method. Okay, so what you want to do is we definitely want to teach you how to do things right. You're going to still find your own style. You'll notice that, the way I do things is a little bit different than Dawn, maybe a little bit different than Cindy Walter. And they all work, but that's because they're very true to themselves, and it's not about what can I go find on someone else's page to put on my page. And I totally understand if you're looking around for ideas at the beginning. I mean, I still look around for ideas, don't get me wrong. But I still tweak it and put my own spin on it. So that doesn't mean that you can't use images that you find in HHP. And like for transformations, we'll talk about that later. Those are ones you're going to have to use. But you want a lot of it to be true to you and your lifestyle. So people don't feel like all of a sudden you're some health expert and all you post is healthy recipes and drinking enough water and all of these things. It's really branding yourself. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about branding yourself and what that looks like. Some people think branding yourself is putting your name on an image. That may be part of who you are, but really branding yourself is way bigger than that. It's more about your style and what you stand for. So for example, when people think of me, there could be people who never actually met me in person, but they've met me through social media. Even some people on my team are that way. But I hope that they can identify 3 to 5 things that kind of explain who I am, and they've gotten that idea all through the way that I share on social media. So for example, I'm into fitness. I'm a stay-at-home, work from home momtrepreneur, very God-centered, family-centered, and kind of a low maintenance type gal. So in a nutshell, that would be a lot of who I am. So hopefully people can project that, because, so for example, you don't see me sharing much about new makeups. You won't see me sharing a lot about fashion. It doesn't mean I don't like those things, but it's not the core of who I am, okay? So try and find those things about yourself. There's also a section in the goaldiggers.biz page that says branding that will help you a little bit. And you don't have to have this down. I certainly wouldn't think that I was really a very branded person when I first started. So you'll kind of get that as you flow. The other thing is that you really want to be authentic, real to you, and add value. So every time I put a post up, or I try to, I mean, every time, or if a post flops, I may look back and go, did that add any value to anyone's life? Apparently not, right? So your number one goal is to add value. And your number one goal is to add value to other people's lives. So a lot of times, that can be through, inspiration, through your story. Sometimes it's through a healthy recipe idea. When people are like, what's the recipe? You're adding value. They want to know, right? Maybe it's a workout, an exercise that you did. It could also be something funny and humorous so that you could pick up someone's day. So just something that adds value. It could be tips when we talk about drinking water, some new information you found out about Thirsty Thursday. Just always, our goal is to add value. Recently, my husband and I did a series on healthy relationships. It had nothing to do with Isagenix, but I was just trying to bring more value to people's lives so that they want to tune in and find value in what I'm going to add. The other ways that you can add value to other people is by on people's birthdays, telling them happy birthday. Whenever it's their anniversary, you can comment and tell them happy anniversary. Maybe it's in a private message. If they got a promotion at their job or did something really amazing, or their kids did, tell them congratulations. Just extremely positive. Fill other people's buckets, okay? So that's really a huge one. Your intent on social media is really not I know this is hard for people to wrap their brain around. You're not going on there to sell Isagenix, okay? You're trying to attract people like you, okay? Attract like-minded people, kind of gain a following, and you're going to sprinkle in what, this nutrition has done for you along the way. And what that does is builds trust. If people don't trust you, they won't work with you. So some people you may meet newly through social media. The people who may interact now right away on your first post are people who already know you. They already know you and they already trust you. But you're going to have more and more people as a following that you have to build and continue to build that trust. So if all you post about is Isagenix type things, the people who don't want Isagenix or anything like that right now are going to completely tune you out, possibly hide you. So I feel bad for people when I go to their page and every single thing has something to do about Isagenix. That is a big no-no. Dawn's going to talk about that balance here in a little bit. So also no negativity, please, on your timeline on Facebook. That doesn't mean that your life is perfect, but remember, we're trying to bring people up. We don't want to bring them down. So don't polarize yourself with political views at all, or you definitely could lose following. I know a lot of people don't agree with that someone would actually not work with you because they have different political beliefs. It's probably not that. It's more that it just rubs them the wrong way if you're really speaking strongly about it. So polarizing yourself is a no-no. I know a lot of people could put a spin on if they had a bad day, like they got a speeding ticket, and then kind of put a joke in there. It's not like you can't be real like that, but if you're constantly talking about how you're sick and am I ever going to get better, or I'm having the worst day in the world, or I'm so tired of people doing this, that's not the type of stuff that attracts people. And that's not the type of people you want to attract. So that is another huge one. Those are probably the bulk of my tips as far as how you want to present yourself. And then Dawn's probably going to get into the nitty gritty of like, what do I put up then? What should I post?
Right. Hi, guys. I just want to reiterate what Lori already said. You guys did such an awesome job last week, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going with a few more tips and everything this week for you guys. But I'm just going to talk about the 3 main things that we want to generally post about. When you are posting, like Lori said, we're not a billboard. You don't want to go through and everything you see is Isagenix related. But you can always relate things back to Isagenix in a way if you wanted to. So the topics of interest that we want to discuss are about branding yourself, which Lori talked about a little bit. So this should be 50% of your posts. And as Lori mentioned, if someone were to go to your wall, can they look at your wall and pick out 5 topics about you? So that's kind of what you want to think about. If you don't know what those 5 topics are, like what 5 things are most important to you, then maybe that should be part of your homework this week. And think about that. Like if somebody said, who is Dawn Bazanko? I want them to be able to say, she's a soccer mom, because that consumes my life. She's health and wellness. She works out, family. So I want people to think of those things when they think about me. I know one that Lori left off that I think of with her is her dog. That's a new one to her life, relatively new. So these are going to be your interests, your niche, so to speak. So if you love to cook, maybe it's healthy recipes and sharing a healthy recipe all the time. If you don't love to cook, then it could be something about that and say, that way you can relate it back to Isagenix and be like, hey, I hate cooking. I don't like to meal prep, but that's why I don't have to worry about it 2/3 of my meals because of this. So doesn't always have to be Isagenix related, but you can always, sometimes tie it back. You can talk about how you're working out and they know that you're a fitness person. And then every once in a while, or in the background, they might see you with a shaker cup and it has like hydrate in it. Or you talk about how like you're recovering quickly from your workouts. And, you don't have to necessarily say that you're using our Recover system or our Recover product, but it's something that you might be able to throw in there every once in a while. So just your lifestyle posts. What are you doing? Or sorry, that's the branding part. Then we want to talk about our lifestyle posts. So this is like you drinking your shake or talking about how easy it is on the go. If you have your fork and knife meal and it's really, really pretty, it's beautiful, your husband cooked it for you, you're out grilling. I'm not naming any names. You're out grilling.
I was just going to say, that's the other thing people have literally learned about me is that I didn't make any of this stuff. We get HelloFresh. I even have had people say that I'm not the domestic one here. It's okay. Be real like that.
Yes.
A lot of people want to be this, I'm superwoman. I can do everything. It's just unrealistic.
And it's not easy to follow. If we knew that Lori could do absolutely everything, and we know that we can't, would you want to, you're like, I can't compete with that, or I can't do what she does. And so we're not perfect. We're not superwoman.
Yeah.
We're not.
I purposely make sure people know I can't do this all by myself.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the things that I was going to add when I jump on, but I'll just jump in here now because it's perfect. For those of you who are listening to this, and this is so new to you, because I know there are a lot of you that you're trying this, this is your very first time to really even use social media a lot, and you're hearing these things and branding and who am I and what are my 5 areas of interest, and you might be feeling a little like in your tummy. That's okay. That's normal. This is super new. Understand that vulnerability is one of the most attractive things that we have with one another. So it's hard, especially when you're looking for ideas, not to compare yourself to what other people are doing, which is exactly what Dawn and Lori were saying. Understand that there are so many people out in the world that are just like you, that are attracted to you and where you're at, and you being vulnerable in your journey is going to attract them to you for a purpose. And so try not to compare. Understand that it's okay to feel like, oh, I don't really know what to share. There are 5 very special things about you that are going to reach out to the people perfectly attracted to you.
Yeah, I know we're honing in on this a lot, but it is huge. Just peel off the layers, you guys. If someone else could take that exact post and put it up, then you haven't really dug very deep to share much about yourself. And if you wonder why some people just seem to go, it's because they're pretty vulnerable, pretty real, and just say it like it is. So anyway, pick up, Dawn. Sorry. Thanks, Allie.
No, that's perfect. So the lifestyle posts, those are like 25% of our posts. And the last section of your posts are your power posts. And these account for 5% of the posts that you do, 1 to 2 posts at maximum a week. We generally strive for 1, and we always seem to do them on Sunday nights. That is the largest Facebook traffic time. And that's when your posts are going to get the most traffic. So, more people are going to see it at that time because there's more people that are on Facebook. And so that's when you want to put up a real powerful post. If you haven't ever shown your transformation, that would be an amazing time to show your transformation, and then get your accountability partners, who all of us in this group, and say, hey, I just put up a post. It was raw, it's real, it's vulnerable. I'm shaking in my boots. I can't believe that I just did this. Can you please support me and love on it? And you know that we are all going to be there for you. It doesn't matter if we are not financially, if we're not linked, it doesn't matter. That has we are all one team, and we are going to be there, and we are going to help you and support you. So what you did last week, your very first post, if that was your very first post, that's pretty much a power post. You're telling everybody what you're doing. You're breaking out of your shell. You're saying, I wasn't feeling great. I was down and out. I was overweight. I was stressed out. I had no energy. I was sleeping all the time. I started this amazing nutrition system, and now I feel incredible. I ran a 5K. There were so many of you that had run that you were not running before. And that was absolutely incredible. And that's amazing. And that's something that you want to shout from the rooftops. So those are great posts. Another great idea for a power post is using the dip theory. And I don't know if any of you know what the dip theory is, but it's like a roller coaster. So you want to take people and you want to tell them like your lowest of lows and take them all the way down and just make their heart break for you. But then because of this incredible nutrition system, or because of residual income, or because of Lori Olson, because she introduced me to this, or whatever it may be, you come up. And if it wasn't for somebody sharing, you might still be in that low. And so then now you're up in this high, and not everything's probably not perfect, but everything's going up. It's up in the up and up, and everything's getting better. And so, you don't ever want to bring somebody down and leave them down there. Always bring them back up in your post. But that is something that will really resonate. And it's something that is true to you, and only you can post that. Only you can make up that story. So whether that dip theory or your power post is financial, emotional, health related, however it may be, those are all great posts that you can do for a big power post. Maybe it's your only transformation. You haven't shared a transformation yet. That would be a great power post. And when you share those transformations, one thing you want to keep in mind is when you put your posts, when you put your pictures side by side, make sure that your before picture is on the left and your after picture is on the right. Actually, for you guys, it would probably be like this. Because when we read left to right, so before, after. So if you have a transformation, your after is on the left, it's just it plays mind tricks. So just always have your before picture on the left or on top, and then your after picture on the right or on bottom. So that's one thing just to always keep in mind. And then if you refer back to goaldiggers.biz, and the password again is ISA, the number 4, life. and you go to the boot camp, and if you go to page 3 or day 3 of the boot camp, we specifically list out things that might jog your mind or jog your memory about different things that you can post about. So you want to try to get around 1 post a day, at least if you're starting out. If you've been doing this longer and you want to do more, you can definitely do more. But do know that making 1 post a day is not bombarding social media. It's not going to bombard your friends, because chances are they're not going to see every single one of those posts based on the Facebook algorithm. So don't be concerned about that. You would be surprised if you go to a friend's wall and see how many posts that you've actually missed. So don't be concerned about that. But on Monday, so, we have a list on goaldiggers.biz of different things that you could do on Mondays or throughout the week. So Monday could be like Motivation Monday. Find a quote that speaks to you and then write your story about that quote. You can use the quote or you can use a picture of yourself and use the quote as the words. There's just a bunch of different things you can do. You can also, on Facebook, if you search the hashtag Motivation Monday, anybody who have ever used that post will come up, and that could also give you different ideas on what you can use. Tuesday, another great one is Transformation Tuesday. It's always a great time to share transformations, and those can be ones that you find on HHP or the Isagenix IsaBody Challenge page. You just want to make sure that they're compliant. So you don't want to say, in 6 days I lost 6 pounds and 2 inches. You can't say that. You can say, since starting I've lost 6 pounds and 2 inches, or I've been on this for 6 days and I feel absolutely amazing. You can say either one of those, but not in the last 6 days I've lost 6 pounds and 6 inches. You can't say that part. I also like to do, for those of you, when you start building your team, I love to do Team Tuesday to help edify my team and to show how the leaders are on my team, how they are growing. Wednesday, you can do a Wellness Wednesday, just to give a wellness tip. I like to do Healthy Hump Day and show a healthy recipe. You can do Why Wednesday. So what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why are you on this journey? Thursday can be Thirsty Thursday, Think Big Thursday, Think About It Thursday, anything like that. Transformation Thursday even. And then Friday is a Fitness Friday or a Freedom Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you can do those as well, or you can take those off and be like, those are more time for your family and not so much business related posts or, any posts related to Isagenix. Or you can do like a Shake Day Saturday, and then Sunday night be your Blitz post. So those are just
Face Friday as a
one too. Face Friday too.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just,
going to say, they don't have to do, like, you can pick some of those. You don't have to do something Isagenix related every single day if you're posting once a day. Like Thursday could be Throwback Thursday, so that you keep your viewers coming in. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you don't do anything Isagenix. Like yesterday, I think it was, and nothing that had to do with Isagenix. But I want to keep I bring traffic in on those days by fun posts, so that then later they see maybe my Transformation Thursday that I'm going to do tomorrow.
Yeah. And one thing that I like to do for Throwback Thursday is get a picture of you and a bunch of people from your childhood and tag those people in that post. It's going to bring all of them and their friends into your world, into your post, onto your page, and they're going to see what's going on. They might be like, oh, I haven't heard from her forever. What's going on over there? And they're going to scroll through and see what's going on. So
good one.
So now Allie is going to give you your secret sauce. What?
I'm going to get my scrapbooks.
I know. If I look at some of those pictures, I'm like, I don't want to put that out there.
That's funny. Hey, everybody. I'm Allie. So I wasn't in the last video, so I wanted to just introduce myself to you guys, too, and tell you my story. And I think this is a perfect time for me to come in because Lori introduced Isagenix to me about 3 years ago, and we were part of another company together, so we had become friends there and knew each other pretty well. And she had approached me about Isagenix, and I'd said no for quite some time. But she kept posting, and that just speaks to how important it is that the more consistent we are, the more that what we share is in front of people. And there are so many lurkers out there. Last week, for example, I spoke to somebody that the only reason that I reached out to her via private message is I saw that her profile picture had changed and she had liked something. She didn't really interact with me a lot. She liked something, and her hair was so stinking cute, kind of like Dawn's. And I reached out and I said, oh my gosh, your hair is so cute. It was a different color even. And she said, oh yeah, thanks, blah, blah, blah. Hey, by the way, I've been watching your nutrition stuff. I'm really interested in this. And when we got on the phone, she'd been watching me for 2 years and never commented on one of my posts about it, but she'd been watching. So that's why I'm just so glad you guys are hearing this and understanding this and knowing that people are watching. Keep posting. And that's how it was for Lori too. She just, or for I and for Lori, she just kept posting, and it was driving me crazy.
Little did I know.
I know.
Just to go along with your story, I definitely knew Allison she had told me no, but I mean, you know, you never say no forever. But she was someone, and this isn't like everyone. Tons of people come to you that you maybe weren't looking for. But she was someone that like I would have on my list of someone who I wanted in my organization, someone who I liked their vibe. They're the type of person that I want to work with. I think they could be great vision casters and leaders, and ding, 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 I was right. Shocker. But so I made sure I was engaged with her in her life too. So that is huge. You can't do it with absolutely everyone, but I have my list. Usually there's at least 10 people that I've got my eye on that I want to bring into my world. And Facebook will then allow you for them to see. She probably saw my post more that way, which I don't think I even realized that then. It was just more like I wanted her to, you want to strengthen the relationship, you know? So, I remember Laura Stevens, you may not know who she is, all of you, but she said, love on the people that you desire to bring in.
Absolutely. And that's what Lori did. And I had been struggling because my metabolism had changed, and I had also used some other products in the past, and I didn't really research their ingredients. So I was pretty skeptical. And I certainly didn't want to share with anybody at that time because I wanted to leave that. I didn't think I wanted to do anything else in direct sales after being in the other company that Lori and I were both in. Not that there was anything wrong with it. I just thought I wanted a different direction for my life. And I just didn't feel like I didn't have this sense of purpose really anymore. So I was going another direction, but I tried the products because I had been so frustrated trying to work out all the time and not getting results, and fell in love with those products and got the results I was looking for within really my first 30 days. I wasn't looking to lose a ton of weight, but I definitely wanted back into my old shorts. I definitely wanted to feel better and less bloated, and I got that. And I honestly shared by accident, and people wanted to know what I had done. And so our referral rewards are so generous. Once that started coming in, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And when the people that started trying it felt so good, I felt like I was really doing something to serve them. And fast forward, this is exactly where I wanted to be. This really is exactly in alignment with my purpose. I just didn't know it. I had to come out of my shell and try it and share it. And so this is really a dream come true. So like they said, the secret sauce, it was definitely something new for me to use social media, or even to share about something so personal, I think, as far as like body concept and food. So I was very, very, probably not in the very beginning, but became very coachable to what Lori was trying to teach me, and also to other leaders that I found to be successful along the way as I got to know other people within this company. And we've found the secret sauce. And so I'm going to share that with you today, the secret sauce as to what is the process to share with other people and to get the information that they need to make an educated decision. The reason we call it the secret sauce or a system is because it's duplicable. You can do it this way, and then when somebody else has that same amazing experience that you've had, they can do it the same way that you did, and on and on and on and on, so that everybody can share. There's no experts needed. It's so simple. Yay. Okay, I'm going to change my There we go. It looks like I don't even know where you guys are at, but this is so you can see my little chart, my flow chart a bit better. I don't even know how, now I thought this was perfect, but okay, so here we go. So this is the HHP process. So many of you have already been, well, all of you have all been in the HHP groups so far already. The HHP process is the way that we use information or use social media to get the information to the people that we want to share with without verbal vomiting on them. Okay, sometimes when you're new to something and you're so excited, or sometimes when you feel like you don't really know much, in the past I would give way too much information, either out of excitement or to overcompensate. What's awesome about our HHP group is that it delivers the information they need in little tiny bits that's not overwhelming, and they get a great sense of the community and support that we have within our group. So we follow this HHP process. Again, no experts are needed. And I'm going to have, there's two things that I'm going to direct into how you add people into HHP. And first we'll talk about social media, but you guys, you're not only just doing things on social media, you're talking to people every single day in your regular life, right? So I also want to talk a little bit about how we handle it in public, okay? So I've got to come over here so I can see what I've got going on here. So Facebook/social media. So Facebook is changing a lot. There's a lot of people using other forms of media too, and those work. I like HHP. We like HHP because it's a great way you can get people into groups to share information. But as Dawn was talking about the Facebook algorithm, now you guys maybe not everybody knows about the Facebook algorithm. In fact, last week, a friend of mine who's a friend of mine on Facebook, and I don't see her very often on Facebook, but we interact a lot on Instagram, posted a picture of her cutest Great Dane. Oh my goodness. And I said, oh, that huge bucket of love, whatever. I said something about this dog that I love. And she responded almost like she was offended. Oh, well, you obviously don't follow me on Facebook. I certainly do. But but Facebook has an algorithm that most people don't know about, which is why we follow this process and we have the secret sauce of loving on one another. Because unless Facebook determines something as important, which it does by the amount of interaction and conversation it has within the comments, a lot of people don't see what you post. So that's why when Dawn says posting every day, even a couple times a day, is not going to overwhelm people, it won't. A lot of people are not going to see it. It really depends on if Facebook deems it as important. So Facebook or social media, again, consistent posts. So we covered that, making sure that you're sharing something about your life at least once a day as we want to get to. If you have more to share, do it. I love sharing things that draw in interaction, asking questions, sharing funny stories. But that's, when Lori was talking about the 5 things that make you who you are, I would say one of mine is fun and playfulness. So I really love to put out silly things and make people laugh, but it gets more interaction. The power posts that Dawn was talking about. So some of this is going to be a little bit of review. Your power posts that you do. So great, simple power posts or transformations. And so a great place to go in Facebook is the Isobody Challenge, or people on your team that you get to know asking permission to use their transformations. If you've shared your transformation, you might find yourself thinking, I don't know what else to share. You can ask other people to use their transformations as well. It's very powerful to share a transformation once a week or so, because the lurkers, that's what they're lurking. They're lurking those transformations while they're drawn in to the things that attract you or attract them to you. And so kind of going back over what Lori said too, this is all part of branding, sharing those 5 areas of interest, 3 to 5 areas of interest, who you are, your lifestyle. I've heard once, like as a metaphor, a great thing to think about is when you're looking through a magazine and you're shifting through the pages, and it's advertisement, 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 content. And that makes you stop and read. Share your content. This is such a fun way It's for people to get to know who you are by sharing what you do in your typical day, because you're going to attract the people that you're looking for, the people that are most like-minded to you. It's like a reality TV show almost. And so that's another reason we love the Instagram stories, because you can just put fun little things about where you're at, what you're doing, and it will draw more people to watch what you're doing. So then when it comes time to do the 1 or 2 power posts a week, you already have that engagement. So lifestyle, the power posts, and anything that casts your vision. So whether your vision for you right now is living a more fulfilled life because you have more energy, because you can sit down and play with your kids where you used to nap on the couch because you didn't have any energy, or whether your vision is designing your own lifestyle because you have financial freedom and do more of the things that you had to say no to because your family just couldn't budget for it anymore, because you have this side hustle, this side income. Maybe that's your vision, to live out a lot of dreams that you thought weren't possible for you. It's going to speak to people that have the same dreams, that are saying the same no's, that want to say yes. In doing these things, also curiosity. So this comes down to when you're sharing your lifestyle posts about using Isagenix, or even with your power posts. We're trying to draw in and find out who is curious about what solution we have to offer. And so because of that, we recommend not using the word Isagenix in your posts. And you're going to find different people that say different things and have different feelings about that. I encourage the people that I coach not to use the word Isagenix unless they have branded themselves as somebody who is an Isagenix coach. And that takes several months, really. So here's the reason why. When we put the name Isagenix out in our post, and I think this might have actually been covered by Dawn last week, but we'll just review it. When we put the name Isagenix out in our post, they can just simply go to Google and Google Isagenix, and a few things happen. They might find some very inaccurate articles that are out there, which are really made as phishing articles to draw them into another product. There's also a lot of articles out there written about nutrition that are not accurate or reliable. We don't want them to have that information. Another reason is they can go to Amazon, and when they order products off of Amazon, they might be getting retail prices, they might be getting products that have already been opened, and most importantly, they do not get a guarantee or a coach. When somebody is referred by you to their Isagenix system, they get you and this team to help coach them to success towards their goals. And if for any reason they're not happy with their experience, they can get their money back. This is huge. They can't get that if they go to Amazon, and we don't want that to happen to anyone else, okay? And then the last reason that we want is so that we can identify who we need to follow up with. So if we're putting Isagenix out there and they're saying, oh, that's what she's doing, they have no reason to ask you any questions, you don't know who to follow up with. It's very important to draw out that comment. What are you doing? Tell me more about this. So you know exactly who it is that you want to talk to. Make sense? Okay, cool. And so because of that, it's also important that when you get those comments on your post, that you reply to them and PM. Why is it important that you reply to that comment? Because there are other lurkers out there that are looking to see, what was her answer? Did she answer it? Oh, she ignored it? Well, then I'm not going to say anything. But when you reply, oh, yeah, I think you'd love this, I'll send you some information and a message, you're going to find more people that just start commenting simply, message me too, message me too. They know they need to come to you. And in the private message then you send to them, you guys, this is not where you're selling any product. You're keeping it really short and sweet. Hey, I'm so glad that you saw that. How have you been? Tell me a little bit more about what your goals are or what you're trying to change. I love this holistic program. Very short and simple. Find out what their goals are. They'll tell you a little bit. And then another quick, simple answer. Oh, this is perfect. I think you'd love this. If it's okay, I'll add you to the private support page I'm part of so you can take a closer look for yourself. Easy, you guys, easy. And you're not just giving a bunch of information to them. And then you have their permission at that point and you add them into HHP. Okay, let's get back up here into what about when we're out in public? Because we're not in social media all the time. We have lives, we're out and about. So it's just really about engaging more. The people that you see, pay them a compliment so that you can have more conversations with people. Pay them a compliment, engage in what's going on around you in their life. Now, so I grew up in Kansas, and my grandma was your typical Midwestern farmer's wife, and she talked to everyone about everything. So this came very natural to me to talk to strangers. That might not be as natural to you. Compliment is a great way to do that. I love your shoes. I love that bag. Your dog is so cute. And it's just, and the intention is not necessarily so that you can get them some Isagenix, but the intention is just to increase the people that you talk to and the opportunity to connect with people. So when you're having conversations, Isagenix may or may not ever come up, but when somebody has an energy and you feel a connection with them, that's when you can invite to connect on social media. And I do this frequently at the gym, at my daughter's swimming practices. When we really like somebody, I say, hey, by the way, are you on Facebook? Great. I hand them my phone so they can find themselves and send themselves a friend request, and we can connect, or they can find me. So the great thing is you're now adding more people that you're engaging in social media. If you guys get into a conversation where you are talking a little bit about the benefits of Isagenix, there's a couple different things. And one I didn't write down here, and that's really simple. And it's very much like when you guys shared this past week about your story, sharing your story. What was your pain point that caused you to find this nutritional program that you use? And how are you feeling now? Very similar to that. Just tell your short story about Isagenix, maybe not necessarily saying Isagenix, or if it's something there you already know that they're looking for another opportunity, another form of income. One thing that I've heard from other leaders before is the 4 F's. So you might be talking about what you're doing for a living. I help people get fit, feel fabulous, and get financially free. Are you on Facebook? I can show you more. The 4 F's. So that's great for like somebody that you can tell would have a great prospect for the business opportunity. Okay, you guys, so now we've moved people into HHP. The very first thing you do is there's a pinned post, which is a welcome post within HHP. You're going to tag them in a comment on that post. Hey, Lori, check out the videos at the top of this post in the caption, and then we'll talk soon. You may add to that post or send in a private message additional tools if they're appropriate. So if I'm talking to somebody that is really, a high-level athlete trying to get some major gains, I might add some of the other videos that are more about our athletic performance in addition to our systems. And so a great place to find videos, and I would actually just challenge each of you to take some time to get to know what we have available to share with people, because you'll actually be watching these videos and think, oh my gosh, okay, that would be perfect for Joe. Go to isamovie.com and you'll see lots of great videos or tools to share there. I also love the Just Cleanse video. I put a link to that often in my comments. There's a new one, so make sure that you reach out to your leader to get the new appropriate Just Cleanse video, because they recently changed that to make it compliant. Okay. After adding them, you're going to follow up with them within 24 to 48 hours. We don't ever want to put anybody in there and just leave them hanging. So 24 to 48 hours. And this is just, again, very, very simple follow-up, either via private message, text, maybe you're calling them or talking to them because you're going to see them. And here's my recommendation, is to stay away from yes or no questions. My favorite question to ask is, what are you loving about the group so far? This is an open-ended question that's going to result in more conversation. It's going to draw out their questions, their interests, more about their goals. The reason that I avoid yes or no questions is it doesn't add any, potentially there's a lack of conversation there. If you just say, did you watch the videos? The only required answer there is yes or no. And then you have to dig up another question to ask. Open-ended questions are just so much more powerful and helpful. So at this point, they're going to tell you what they love, and they're probably going to start asking some questions. How many shakes a day am I going to have? The most the most common question that comes up very quickly, how much does this cost? So there could be a variety of questions, but the answer to all of those are going to be, it really depends on your goals and your budgets. In your budget, there are different systems based on those things. And that's when you want to move to a 3-way chat with your leader. Okay, so that's when you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to add so-and-so to this chat, my leader. I'm going to add Lori in because she's been sharing this longer, and I want to make sure that you get your questions answered and that we help break down what might be the best for your particular goals, because they might not be the same as mine. You add that person to the 3-way chat. Your leader will show you how to bring that into a 3-way call and how to break down the systems according to somebody's budget. So a lot of things are going to happen in that call. That can be probably a whole other training as far as helping people learn about reallocation of money. I never ever answer a question about cost until I've had an actual conversation where I know what they're already spending, and I can explain meal reallocation to them, because most people think of this as they're spending extra money in addition to what they're already doing. So that's why it's very important to move to a 3-way chat as quickly as possible, and your leader will help you move it into a 3-way call. Prior to the call, you'll send them an event video. So this is very generic because we have different videos that come up based on really chronological order. Lori did one very recently we have a recording that you can send to them. I often send one that I did a long time ago when I'm speaking to people personally, because I like to have, my face associated with it, so that they feel like they know me already. But there's various. Just check with your leader about which event video to send. And then make sure that as soon as you have that date figured out, you have that time confirmed, and then you confirm with them an hour prior. So here's a couple tips that I want to share with you guys about setting up calls, setting up 3-way calls, and about confirming or making sure that call happens. Now, when you go through a 3-way chat, you're going to see your leader do this very quickly, but I still want to share it really quickly here. The very best way to set up the 3-way call, which again, your leader will probably do in the chat, is not to just go straight to let's do a 3-way call or when is a good time for you. Everybody is so busy, so stinking busy. And when you ask somebody who feels overwhelmed, when is a good time? The first thing that they think is never. I never have a good time. I'm always running around. The kids have this. My husband's got that. I got to do this and be here. They're already overwhelmed. I like to break things down into choices. Are days or evenings best for you? Well, probably evenings. Okay, awesome. And you and your leader will find out what 2 evenings you both have available. It might be a Wednesday or a Thursday, and you come back to that person and say, are Wednesdays or Thursdays better for you? We're narrowing it down to 2 things, so it clears the space in their mind, and they can just simply see, are they available or not? Wednesdays or Thursdays? Wednesdays are greater. Awesome. Is 7 or 8 better? You see how I keep narrowing it down to 2 until you've got that time that connects for everybody? It's so much simpler, and it stops the runaround of, oh, let me get back to you on when is a good time. You're being assertive, but you're also just making it more simple for you, and your leader will teach you how to do this. They'll probably be setting it up the first few times from the chat. The other thing is when the time is set up, simply saying, to watch the video prior, but also confirming the time and then saying, I know you're super busy, as am I. There's a ton of people that are interested in this right now that are wanting to talk to me. If anything comes up with you, please let me know right away so that we can, get a different time and I can open that time up to somebody else that day. Something like that. Let them know. This is kind of posture. Let them know that you're there for them, but if anything comes up, please to let you know, and then you can confirm with them an hour prior to make sure the call is still on. Okay, that's my process. Do you ladies have anything to add to that? I'm trying to unmute you, but that's not what I do. There we go. No? All right.
Sorry, it took me a little while. I was also getting you, I put you on the big screen so they could see your board and everything.
Oh, awesome. I hope it showed up okay to everybody.
It did. It was amazing. I know you guys are all over there with your mind blown right now. So again, don't get overwhelmed. Feel free to watch this again. A lot of the things that she went through in the process, literally your sponsor will take care of. The biggest thing I think to take away is that you want to go to the three-way call and not try and answer, or the three-way messenger chat and not try and answer questions. That is probably the biggest place people get stuck, is later they come back and said, well, I've talked to some people, but they all think it's, they can't afford it, or they don't want to do shakes. I'm like, where are these people? I haven't seen any of these people come through. Your coach is experienced on how to respond. And this is like an observation practice for you. Even through their posture, like Allie said, in the three-way message and on the three-way call. So you want to do at least a few of those. And then what I usually do is kind of summarize, did you notice this is how we kind of went through the process? And then eventually you'd be able to do those. So again, solo is a no-go at the very beginning. Actually, solo is a no-go. I'm not doing these by myself. I'm pulling in some great trainers, okay? So we can do together what none of us can do alone. Just remember that. So no, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I know this is a little longer, but you guys, this is a lot of the meat that you really need to know.
And I will snap a picture of this and post it in the group too, if that's helpful. But the process and the checklist is also in goaldiggers.biz, but I will snap a picture of this if you want to.
Yeah, don't forget there's the HHP checklist. Like she got a lot of that from that checklist and is just sort of simplifying it for you. Lastly, what's your action item this week? Our goal is that we're going to be adding more people to HHP. So your goal is to add at least one person a day to HHP. And if you are starting to post more often and using a lot of the techniques that Allie did and looking at people differently when you talk to them, you're literally going to have no problem. In the very beginning, it's very simple to start adding people to the group. And then don't just add them, follow the process that Allie showed you right there. And put at least one post up a day. See if you can do that. So everyone who does add at least one, if you add at least 5 people to HHP this week, you will go into a drawing for a prize. So what I need you to do by the end of the week, once you have at least 5, is put those 5 names down of the people that you added to HHP in the comments. And then by the end of the week, we will go through those and do a drawing. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments too. Okay? You guys have a great, great week. Thank you too for a wonderful training this week.